Welcome back to Social Club and welcome back to Yaya Toure to Premier League action. Brought in from out of the cold, gets 2 goals on his return. Stay good. First and foremost, good to see Yaya back in action, or do you just not give a toss?
Whatever.
Not give a toss. Excellent.
I don't think Man City particularly needed any more good players. So the fact they've got one more,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're delighted with it. But if you're going to come back and you're going to come in from the wilderness, that's the best way. That's the way to do it, isn't it? Yeah. You come back and you win the game, score 2 goals, give an interview like, yeah, I knew I'm great. Jobs are good, and that's what he done. And yeah, fair enough.
It was. It's been a bit. The whole thing's been a bit baffling, hasn't it, Pep? The Yaya thing. By the sounds of it, in the way that Pep Guardiola kind of spun it after the fact, if you listen to his post-match interview, he says, "No, he's great. Toure is great. No problems with Toure."
His agent's a fucking knobhead.
It's a knobhead.
Basically, that's what Pep was hinting at.
Yeah.
And yeah, fair enough. They had issues, didn't they, when they were at Barcelona as well? So obviously, maybe that came from the agents as well back then, maybe, and it's just spun out. And listen, he asked him to apologise for something. He wouldn't apologise, so the manager stuck to his guns. Now he's apologised. He's back in the team, and he scored a couple of goals. I mean, he's a great player, let's be honest, but he doesn't always maybe suit the way Man City play, but he is just such an amazing impact player.
Yeah.
And if he sticks around and he keeps his head down, then he could help them.
I must admit, I was a little bit like, I didn't know it was happening, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, shit. Because, let's be honest, City are a very good team with some very good players, and like Steve's kind of saying there, oh, we'll just wheel out Yaya Toure, who, we had a quick look into his goal return. It's kind of been on the decline since 13-14, but the guy's a genuine world-class player, and there you go, just wheel him in 12 games into the season.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about, obviously, the effect of Europe and stuff like that. This, for Guardiola, this is a bit of a masterstroke, I think, because they've played really well. He's made a very clear point that you don't fuck about with me, otherwise you're not going to play.
Yeah. And
then he's brought him in now, and what will win this is why I think Man City will win the league is that depth of quality. And Toure's not even in the Champions League squad. So to be able to bring him in, and
he's just in our Premier League squad.
It's mad,
Yaya
isn't it?
Toure.
To be able to bring him in, and I think especially for away games where he's not that driving force that he was before. But if you've got teams who are either going to let you have the ball, he can move it around quite quickly. And those teams, I don't think they're going to it's not going to be too difficult to get beyond the press of those teams. In those games when you need to give a couple of players a rest, he's perfect because he does score goals. And also the other thing I would say is that Guardiola had him before at Barcelona, and he played him in a very different position there. When he was sort of before he was at his peak. He's at his peak years at Man City, but he was holding there. And so why can't he do that again as well? I think
because he's a lazy bastard.
What holding? It's easier to sit
there.
He is a lazy
but
bastard.
I think we saw exactly what the beauty of Yaya Toure. Look at those 2 goals, Steve. They oozed class. He looked like a guy who came onto the pitch and was far too good to be playing at that level almost.
You know what he looks like very quickly? He looks like, you ever like played Sunday League and someone brings on like some fella who played, he played
for Blackburn
he was released
reserves.
when he was like 24 because he was a big cokehead or something. And they're like dead fat, and they just walk on and everything they do is brilliant. Though they could play in slippers. Basically, that's how good, and that's what he looked like on Saturday.
Exactly that, because you wouldn't expect him to be doing what we talked about there. And what he had for those couple of peak years at City was what I think that I always loved Gerrard doing, was that driving forward, give and go, and bursting and beyond. But look at that, he picks the ball up just inside the box for his first goal. There's nothing on. There's absolutely nothing on. And he plays a dead simple pass, give and go, and he's in. I think it takes a deflection. But that, and then his movement for the second goal,
he'll be great for them in that type of game. I don't think he'll be very good at home when City are, fast-paced, moving the ball like Ped says. I do think well, not only is he lazy, he's slow. He looked to me, he isn't that driving dynamic force he was. Yeah. He used to run past players for fun. Now he does look a bit laboured, but if you're away at Palace or you're away at whoever, and they're camped on the edge of their box, and you need someone, who's got a bit of strength, who can, bully it about, and who's got, his touch and his vision is just, even now you can tell it's just phenomenal. Yeah. He'll win them that type of game where I didn't watch the full game when I knew we were talking about it. I watched the highlights and I went back and watched it, and he just Palace aren't playing that bad, they're defending quite well, and he just decides, I'm going to win this game for Man City, and he does it so easily, and he, like I say, he does it by, I don't think it's completely, it's not his drive, it's not his effort, it's not physical power, it's just a bit of class, and that bit of class will beat the bottom 10 away from home, and that's how City might, if they do win the league, they'll do it by winning those type of games, because you know, they've struggled against a lot of teams. They've had a lot of draws, you know, against with Middlesbrough at home recently, for example. They drew a few other games. If he can just, you know, that little bit of class around in and around the box, and if he gets, say he starts 20 league games and gets 10 goals or something like that, it's massive for them, especially when City are on, they go and win the 4s and 5s and 6. But when they look off it, they never look like the team who's going to grind it out either. Oh, they haven't this year under Pep. They haven't looked like they're going to just go and sneak one, but yesterday they did.
To me, he's their equivalent of a long ball, if that makes sense. He's their other option. They've got all this good football, as you say. Some teams will camp at the edge of the... I mean, we did it when we went to the Etihad. We camped at the edge of the box and tried to play on the break. And a lot of teams will do that, and Steve's right. You just need that something else, and he is their long ball, he's their out ball. Because he just... Even when he's slow, but he's not, because 2 strides and he's gone, because he's
big.
That big. And it is class, it's pure class, and it's almost like he knows he's better than everyone else, but he's just got, I think you can look at other players who maybe have gone past it, they can't cope physically, but you look at him and just think he can cope. It's just that he just can't be arsed.
There's something to be said, I think, for keeping him hungry, isn't there? You know, there's clearly he will have a point to prove. You were literally exactly. Well, he said he even said that. He said his weight's fine.
Yeah,
like he made a point of saying it in the post-match interview. But yeah, have a go at that, because we know that it is hard to find motivation. I think when you've won all there is to win it,
and you're getting paid that he's on an absolute
exactly. How do you get yourself up week in, week out? I don't know. I think most of us will be watching going, oh, I could, but you know, clearly it's a thing, isn't it? And someone like him, just you know, he's not going to play every single game. And hopefully, from Man City's perspective, that just means he's absolutely chomping at the bit.
That's a really good point, because he was the main man, wasn't it? And also, if you think of that first season, I think they might have won the league. What would happen was he'd actually play deeper, and then go, oh, right, shit, we need a goal. Then you put him a bit further forward, and then you go and win.
Mancini would always sub a striker off, bring like a holding midfielder on, and
let him go.
It was almost like, you know, release Yaya.
We used to do it with Fellaini.
Yeah,
exactly. I was about to use that example. Yeah,
it's the Moyes tactic.
And so now, there's no reason why he can go back into that position and be that kind of offer up that basically game management to maybe see out a game, because he like was it James McArthur's trying to get the ball off, he can't get near him because he's so huge.
You just do it off the bench these days, don't you? Because I don't think has he got what, I don't know, Fernandinho or whatever, or Gundogan offers, probably not. But rather than bother your ass dragging him through 70 minutes where he needs to be mobile.
He's very instinctive as well. He knows how to score goals. I mean, the second goal, it might look like a little tap in, but you've got to be there.
Just drifts.
And the way he just knocks it in nonchalantly.
And for a lad who's like, what, 6 foot odd, 6 foot, was he 3-4? He's massive.
Probably.
The fact that he loses his marker, and they don't know where he is, and it's like, how have you not seen? And it's because his run is so good, he just drifts away and he's in. Yeah. It's bizarre, like the biggest fella on the pitch, and it's just a little bit of know-how in his head. Yeah. It gets him like half a yard of space.
He uses class, doesn't he?
And what Guardiola's done is, instead of being he was that main man, you've now, like you said, you've starved him so much that he's probably happy with this role instead. Because he's not. You don't want to play him against Liverpool, or those guys are going to be so athletic, because he will still get found out, I think, in those games.
I think it's a very difficult thing to do, to transition a player from being your main man to being a bit part player. That's a very, very difficult thing. Man United have become were the experts at doing it, phasing people out when they needed to. But Liverpool saw it with Gerrard. United have seen it now with Rooney. How do you take that guy who's your top wage earner, who's the guy who a couple of years ago was scoring all your goals? How do you pull him out without selling? Well, that's actually
for Toure. Really well. Maybe he thought in the summer he was going to get offers left, right, and centre, and they just didn't come. And now it's November. And he's probably sitting in, I need to play. You know what I mean? I'm wasting myself here by not playing. So
there must be I presume he's not retired from international footy. Maybe he's got different combinations and thinking.
That's a big carrot, isn't it?
No, but that could be his last. That could be his last one potentially. Like,
I'm sure it is for a lot of people. He has won it though.
For him, he'll want to go into that tournament and win that tournament, and he'll probably feel he needs to be at the peak of his powers to to do it. You never know. I'm throwing it out there. If you
Do you know,
disagree,
they probably
Ped,
wanna be-
if you want to be completely offensive to one of the biggest national tournaments, go and by all means. But it's fine. Go on, James.
For his own ego as well, he'll want to be player of the tournament. To put out a message that I should be playing every single week. But
Maybe.
He's got a massive ego.
No,
You can tell by his
you're not having it,
comments.
mate. Why not?
Because it's shit. That's like,
Why is it
it's
shit?
It's fucking shit. The African nations, it's fucking... I watched it once, right, and they'd drawn the name and number on someone's back with a fucking marker pen.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. It's horrendous.
If you want to see the
Shallow,
It's not, that's
no,
not...
the African competition's got some phenomenal footballers
it
and
has.
great footballers.
It's the organisation. It's incredible. No, African nations, it's the organisation of it, which I'm not slagging off anyone other than the
like
people
you
who organise it. It's a fucking joke the way they organise it.
And all
It's just piss up in a brewery, basically.
There you go. For more of these kind of thoughts, of course, go over to Toffee TV and check out Ped.
Fucking hell, mate. You wait till January when we lose two of our best players in the African Nations Cup. Fucking hell.
You've got best players.
Fucking Primark jumping.
It's not Primark, that's Asda, that, mate. Anyway, thanks very much
George
for watching.
Wanker.
Let us...
George Wanker.
Let us know your thoughts on the Yaya Toure. If you want to join in on the Yaya Toure Wankfest, you can do in the comments below. Bossity, subscribe by
Sure,
clicking
you
the
can find a
shield.
video for that as well somewhere.
Oh yeah. Click the shield, get on with your day, but fill your day with more Social Club.